Tim Hortons Roll Up to Win is back. Jesse, get your damn app out. Get it out.
Sure.
I want to roll, because here's the thing. If you order from the app, you get 2 rolls, not just 1.
If you order ahead,
Yeah.
and you go pick it up at the store, then you get a couple bonus. You get a bonus roll,
Which we like.
yeah.
So
So I got a ton of rolls here.
all right, let's get
I've
into
been
one.
banking them for these reads. Here we go. I'm gonna click the first one, and then I'm gonna hit the little swipe, and it's gonna roll. Hey, oh my goodness.
What'd you get?
I won 50 Tim's reward points.
Hey, let's go. All right. All
I
right.
have a pretty good hit rate.
Yeah, you're doing all right. You're doing all right.
Good. Nice.
Now, this episode is brought to you by Tim Hortons, and if you feel something exciting in the air, that's because Roll Up season is back, and you can still play on the cup like this one while supplies last. But don't forget to play on the Tim's app, which Jesse just did.
I think on Friday we get Steve to roll up his cup.
I think we do.
Oh.
I think we get an
Yeah.
actual real life roll.
I want it.
Yeah.
I want it.
Roll Up season is only around till March 22nd, so you don't want to wait till it's over to realize you forgot to play Roll Up to Win only at Tim Hortons. Let's start the show.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
Trade deadline week. Do not forget,
We're here.
SDPN's trade deadline special, which is us waiting for the trades to happen and then pumping out a bunch of videos, happens on Friday, and we got a late live stream at 5 o'clock. And we'll kind of go through the goings on of the days. We kind of like to wait until after, I think it's a 3:30 deadline Eastern Standard Time for the trades to kind of.
I thought it was 3.
Is it 3? Whatever it is.
3 o'clock, yeah.
Okay.
3
o'clock.
and a trickle.
No,
Yeah.
you should know that.
There's usually a trickle. No.
You idiot.
Here's what I do know. I knew our times, the NHL times.
Yeah.
You know. I want to play an imagination game with you guys. I want to pretend we're at a class. And it's a.
Can I be a dragon?
No, it's a visual. Well, yeah, you can.
Okay.
But it's a visualization class.
So we're in a class. I'm a dragon.
Okay. So Jesse, you have to play this game too. Stop being serious, Jesse.
I had to close the tip.
No, I know. I'm just bugging you. Giving you a hard time.
Jesse's a giraffe.
All right, Jesse and Steve, are you in your imagination zone?
Yes.
Are you in imagination land?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, because I want you to imagine
You're a salamander.
you have a favorite hockey team.
Okay.
Okay, you got a favorite hockey team, and that favorite hockey team's in a playoff race,
Mm.
and it's a bit of a desperate situation. So you're at home,
Oh, no.
okay, and your mortal enemies 5 hours up the road are in town,
Oh.
and it's a playoff game in front of your home fans.
Wait, how much traffic is there?
There's so much traffic.
Oh, okay.
So
So that's
much
about
traffic,
Ottawa.
but you made it.
Okay.
You made it. You're on time. You even made it for warm-ups.
Okay.
Okay, all right. And in the first 5 minutes, you score first.
Oh,
And it's one of your heart and soul leaders who's been struggling lately.
that's so good.
Isn't that crazy?
That's excellent.
Now, you're not gonna let these fools embarrass you at home.
Heavens no.
You promptly put your foot on their neck and watch their face turn purple.
Oh, that'd be the thing to do.
It would be. Except that's not us. And we don't live in imagination land. We probably allowed 16 straight shots afterwards. I'm talking, of course, about the Toronto Maple Leafs, who were outshot just in the first period alone, 16-2.
I wanted to be a dragon.
And I just want to throw this at you guys. Ottawa scored 4 times in the second period, outshot the Leafs 15-8, and by the end of just that period, the Leafs were out-attempted 56-19.
Yeah, that 16 straight thing climbed higher than that because the Leafs didn't record the first couple shots in the second either. I think it got up to 19 straight shots.
Oh, that's cool.
So Dakota Joshua had a shot after the Morgan Riley goal, and that was, I think, 3:30 into the first period, and they didn't record another shot until a couple minutes into the second.
So almost a full period.
Almost a full period.
Wow.
You were there, so you wouldn't have seen this, but like Drew and I would keep doing over-under on when the next shot would be. And usually I was off by 4 seconds on one of them. It was insane. But for the most part, it's like Drew, optimism, and they blow by that. And it's me, pessimism. They still blow by it. And we're like, yo, this team sucks. How is it Monday morning and Craig Berube is still the coach?
When they started doing the shot stuff and not doing any shots.
Not doing the shots.
It was like, okay, I got to start looking up what the records are. I got to start going back and seeing how many shots until they break some records here. So I had a bunch of numbers I couldn't use because by the end of the second they started peppering some shots on there, and then the third they get enough to
score effects
to not break any of these records. But I thought it was very interesting that in the salary cap era, the couple times that the Leafs had 13 shots on goal, which is their lowest total for the salary cap era, they won 2 of those games. Steve, you might remember these games.
I think, is one of them against Dallas?
Neither of them are against Dallas.
Okay. Okay. Columbus or New Jersey?
New Jersey is one of them.
Okay.
So, you want to keep guessing?
No.
Yeah.
No,
okay. So in the salary cap era, they've recorded 13 shots on goals 3 times.
Okay.
That's the record. That's the lowest total.
That's crazy.
One happened, I'll go in chronological order. Boston, 2012, March 19th, an 8-0 loss.
Okay. Seguin had a hat trick.
Well done.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Yeah.
You need to learn something else so that information gets pushed out because that's weird.
Seguin had a hat trick. Yeah, I remember that.
That was their only loss of their 13 shot totals. The next 2 games, 2013, March 23rd. It was a 3-2 win against.
Oh, Jesus.
March 13th?
March 23rd.
23rd.
3-2 victory, 13 shots on goal.
In 2013.
In 2013.
Oh, man.
Detroit.
Boston.
And
then
again?
So both of these games are against Boston. New Jersey, you already guessed. It was a 2-0 victory, 13 shots on goal. That happened April 15th, 2013.
Wow. So these guys are Carlisle bad.
Yes. And
that might even be Wilson. No, 2013 would be Carlisle.
That's
Carlisle.
Yikes.
Yeah.
It wasn't even Horacek till, I think, the next year? 14-15?
14-15 was Horacek.
Yeah.
Well, partial.
Yeah.
That's 2012.
Because at least we're in a playoff spot when they fired
They
Carlisle.
sure were. So Horacek was like pretty much January 2015.
Yeah.
The 2012 loss with the 13 shots on goal, 8-0 to Boston is where I thought the game was heading. But it was just as demoralizing and sad.
Yeah, and you could see that, Jesse, in the post-game comments. And I have been dying to ask you all weekend, but I've held off about what we're going to play the answers, and I've got them there in the prep sheet. But I just want to know what it felt like. Tell me what it felt like,
First of all,
because you can pick up a vibe when you're next to somebody that you can't through a camera.
Totally. The vibes as a whole at Scotiabank on the weekend were a little off because I want to say like 4 or 5 of the guys who are usually there are just off this whole week because of where Milan happened, and they had to come over here, and this is their week off to end the season. So there's a lot less people around the team right now. Well, this past weekend, everyone's probably coming back to work right now. So it felt a little smaller and even worse because there's less people around. It's less jovial. You get at least a little bit of an atmosphere when like Mark Masters is there and CJ's there and Luke Fox is there and they're all missing. So you don't have that environment too from the reporter perspective. And then the guys, they're kind of accepting finally that everything's lost and this is sad and this is embarrassing. And it's a feeling of dejection out of them. It's not even like a fight back towards, us answering them like, okay, you failed here. Like, did you give up on the team? Did you give up on the season? Blah, blah, blah. You couldn't come out of the first period again. It's just kind of like, yeah, we suck and this is awful and we're tired.
It was clear from their performance.
Yeah.
Now,
it's really sad.
I have a question I'm dying to ask you guys, but I'm going to hold until we play these 3 clips because I think this is an important question.
Okay.
But let's start with Austin Matthews.
Sure.
And it's a pretty short clip. It's about 13, 14 seconds. But I think it sort of sums up, at least he said what we're all thinking. Go ahead.
Really embarrassing, to be honest with you. It's just, not the way, we need to have more pride in our play, no matter where we're at, no matter what the situation is. We just have to have more pride in our game, and we didn't have that tonight.
All right, we can leave it there.
So
really embarrassing, no pride in the game. Hey, he said it. They said it out loud.
They seem sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was around there, it seemed like a whole just bunch of sad dudes in a locker room.
I saw him getting a lot of criticism, like, the team sucks because he sucks. And I'm like, no one was good. Like, it was, I think, impossible to look good in a Leaf uniform that night. Mm-hmm. Literally impossible. Maybe Dakota Joshua. I think it was possible to look good in fourth line minutes. That's about it. You couldn't possibly pin that on one person.
No.
You couldn't possibly. They were top to bottom. It almost made it better.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. They're just bad. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're in a close game and you're like, if they had only done this.
And like one guy messed it up for everybody.
Yeah. Or like this coach's decision or that. Man, they didn't have a shot.
No.
It
was a team effort thing. Everybody was bad.
Yeah.
Insane they were within one goal for as much of the game as they were.
If the Sens themselves, which probably won't be a topic of conversation here, have some troubles finishing and need to work on that part of the game. And their power play isn't great, but the Leafs made their power play look decent, which is the thing chatting with Julian about. Is like the Leafs made the Sens look like the Sens when they're looking at their best. And they've had spurts of that this season, but you can see like there's still a gap in the Leafs against the Sens.
I think it's hilarious that the Sens allowed 2 goals given the Leafs performance. But it also speaks to the fact that they've got goaltending issues. Like the fact that the Leafs even scored 2 is shocking based on how bad they were. They were that bad.
It is.
They didn't deserve 2 goals.
It is.
Now, let's move on to William Nylander, who William has always been a bit cocky and sure of himself, and I have never minded that.
Confidence,
good. But now he's starting to sound very human. Mm-hmm. And I thought this press conference was one of the more poignant I've seen him give, and he's known for giving shitty answers. So here we go.
Yeah, I think in this answer, you're going to get the vibe that I'm trying to illustrate with what's going on with the mentality of the Leafs right now.
I just think that we're not, finding our game. It's, I don't know. It's hard. I think it's the first time in a long time. Like the main group that's been here for a while, we've been in this position where we're out looking in, so we got to figure it out pretty quick here.
Austin talked about pride, embarrassment, and Jake talked about confidence. How do you find the pride and the confidence and maybe manufacture it in your mind?
Yeah, I don't think it was really there the first 2 periods. Came alive a little bit in the third. We need to have that desperation if we're gonna, make it to where we want to be.
All right, let's leave it there for now. Listen to the way he's talking.
He's never been here. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, they're on the outside looking in his first half quarter season with the Leafs, but like the reason he was with the team is they were actively trying to finish last.
Yeah.
Right? They had a whole youth movement. 4 guys made their debut on one night in February. That doesn't happen to good teams. It was William Nylander, Zach Hyman, Nikita Soshnikov, and Kasperi Kapanen in a 2-1 loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Again, sick. Just sick, disgusting stuff. But he's never been in this position. You could argue he was in that position in his first year because they were literally on the outside looking in, but there were no expectations. They weren't coming off of winning the division and making it to the second round and all that stuff. If you wanted to look at it, rose-colored glasses, like, well, they took the Florida Panthers to Game 7 or whatever. If that's the way you want to look at it, you got to be a little gobsmacked you're in the spot if you're him. How do you handle it? It's a great question that he doesn't know how to answer. He's never been through it. Austin has very literally never been through it. He didn't even get the little bit that Willie got. Mm-hmm. Mo. Poor Mo. Getting back to his roots. That's about it.
Yeah.
On this team.
Now, Berube had about a 40-second answer. That was the one that sort of made the headlines. Mm-hmm. And he's going to point to his heart and then his head. So if you're listening to this, when he says, I can't give him this, it's a heart and a head. but you got to listen to the full clip in context so you can hear it.
Here, put him on the screen before you play it. He needs a skincare sponsor now.
Well, for the scar?
How is that scar? Look how well that's healed.
It's healed well.
That's insane.
Yep.
That dude's like, that's insane. Good for him.
Yep.
Anyway, go ahead.
Manufacture it too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I when I look at the game and show tape or we go over things, there's a certain way we need to play the game. But, I can't give guys this or this, and that's on. They have to come with that. That's got to be on them. Like, they got to bring the heart and the competitiveness that's needed, and it's all the little things. They got to bring that. They got to want to bring that. We can bring the X's and O's, and I can go in there and yell and scream at them all I want. That doesn't do anything either.
The video.
All right, we'll leave it there. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a question, and it's one that Anthony Petrelli wrote about in his column. And it's funny because he usually does a recap of the game. He's like, but this is so bad, there's no point in really recapping it. It was more talking about where we're at.
Yeah, make a video.
And
make a video after every game.
And Anthony said, the Leafs are bad, and we know they're bad.
Yes.
But he said, you can't convince me they're this bad.
I agree. I 100% agree. Yep.
And so, considering that, you can't, Jesse, do you agree with that? Can't convince me they're this bad, as in they're not capable of more. I think that's really the way to frame it.
I don't think I agree that the play style that Craig Berube has them play in this season isn't conducive to winning. And it would have been nice to see another head coach try and get something more out of the team so then you have a better evaluation of the guys you want to keep and you want to leave. If they had made this decision in the fall or in December to get rid of Berube along with Savard, then you have an evaluation period for this team, and then we would have that answer.
Because we don't know.
Wouldn't be here guessing. Yeah. You're asking that question because it's a question still, and it's a shame for this organization that it's still a question.
And there have been no trades since when, Steve?
July 16th, 2025.
And I tweeted this week. I'm like, I don't know how Berube survives the weekend. I don't know, in a normal franchise, like, I don't know how you survive a performance like that. But it's not a normal franchise.
I figured it out.
Give it to me.
So there was a firing. It was Jim Hiller got fired by the LA Kings. And here's the difference. One of those teams thinks they can still do something. The other has given up. That's the only conclusion I can come to. Because I'm sitting here like, okay, I can't believe Craig Berube is still the coach of the Leafs after a performance like that. What's the point of firing him? You fire him because you think you can do better to try to salvage the season.
So to Jesse's point, the time to fire him was December.
I still think there is use in firing now to see what you got in the guys. If
that's true.
If somebody or whoever they use, if it's Derek Lalonde and he has them playing a different style than Craig Berube, then you get answers out of the guys who will play out the season for the Leafs.
I agree. With that.
I think there's value in firing still.
I agree with that. But that's the only logical explanation. What the Leafs have done, like in terms of decision making, coaching, management, all of it is asinine and unjustifiable and baffling. I've never felt more disconnected from what they're doing. And
dude, they play like they're disconnected from what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing.
When you watch them out there, does it not feel like they're confused?
It's the worst product I think I've watched.
No, but think about it. Like, okay, defenseman gets the puck in the corner. I don't know that he knows where anybody's going to be.
The amount of times they'll make a pass around the boards and no one's there.
Yes.
The amount of times it's dumped and it's just for the sake of changing. Or there's one guy on 4 and he's just so easily stripped. Dude, they can't accomplish anything.
And so when Craig talks about heart and intelligence and in execution, it's difficult to know what that would even look like. I don't know, and I haven't known for a while now, what is the Leafs brand? What do they aspire to be? In a perfect world, what does this team, what are the bywords? What are the remember those word clouds they used to have online? Like, what are the major big words that are supposed to be associated with this team?
Hardworking. Like, when I think of the one overarching theme, like, people talk about them being big and tough and, oh, look how that's backfired. What is big and tough about this team?
There's nothing big and tough about this team.
Absolutely nothing big and tough about this
They're
team.
soft as hell.
What are you talking about?
OEL's the only guy on there. Even McCabe's like not even really mixing it up. OEL and Stollers are the only guys I see throwing anything.
It's just the easiest discourse online to be like, oh, okay, we'll disqualify that opinion. Like, because you're not watching. What do you mean?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? And if you are watching, then what's going on in your head? I don't understand it. The one thing I expected this team to do was bust their ass. And man, they're the second. Dylan Cousins, right? That guy's brand is the workhorse from Whitehorse. He made them look like fools. He looked like an elite player in the NHL. And I'm not shading him. I just don't think he's that. He's very good. He's very, very good. He deserves the money he's getting. Sens killed that trade. I think his points speak for themselves, but like, they made him look like a bona fide $10 million center in this league. And guys, for the love of God, you got to be better than that. You have to. They, at one point, had 4 shots. I think it was Lawton threw a muffin on net. There was a rebound. Nylander got a chance. It was stopped by Allmark, and then Nylander scored. That's 3 shots. They almost doubled their shots in one sequence. And this is like late in the second period. Mm-hmm. There was nothing redeemable of that experience. Everyone who went to the game should get their money back. People paid to watch that. And again, 5-2 doesn't seem all that crazy.
That hides what it was.
Oh boy. Completely unwatchable product. You can be an entertaining bad team. Mm-hmm. We've seen it.
This is bad entertainment.
Holy. The amount of people who have come up to me over the past 3 games and just been like, I don't watch.
Yeah, my wife, who watches every game with me, refuses to watch now.
And they stop themselves mid-sentence with me because they go, do you what? Well, you have to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And like, I love the LFRs, and like, I love coming on here and talking about it. That's fun. Watching them is awful. Holy shit. Mm-hmm. Brad, are you enjoying yourself? When you watch the Frankenstein's monster you've assembled, every time you're in that press box looking down on what you've created, are you proud? Are you at minimum entertained? It's so bad. There's nothing redeemable about the product whatsoever. Right? Do you remember me ever saying that really about, when was the last time you heard me say that?
Probably 14, 15. You said it a lot back
then. That's the thing about
that was a horror check.
That's why this is all so shocking. It's been 10 years of success.
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah.
I think it's been over. Like, Jesus, even when they finished last, there were redeeming factors to that team. And there were things to watch for and young guys to be excited about. And they're ruining their best prospect they have.
Mm-hmm. So you asked earlier about like firing Craig Berube, and the Easton Cowan stuff I think plays directly into that, because Jonas Siegel in his article, the Monday Morning Leaf Report, pointed out just the deployment issues that Berube is having with the entire line combination with the forward group. And one thing he consistently is going back to is throwing Nyes up there with Matthews and Domi. And Jonas had the stats from Saturday. Shot attempts were 14-2 for the Sens, who scored twice. This season, they have a 44% expected goals in over 160 minutes.
Oh.
And there's a case to be made that Nyes, Matthews, Cowan has been an effective line, and he's refused to, one, play Cowan, and then two, play Cowan in the top six when he's in the lineup. And I would like to see someone else get some sort of run with this group and see what they can get out of these players.
As of this morning, it's Nylander, McMahon, Matthews.
All right.
I'm just telling you.
Try thing.
I'm just saying it.
They're just button mashing, man. Like
I don't mind Nylander Matthews, actually. Like, I know they kind of avoid that to try and give, like, Nylander his own line and Matthews' own line. But when the goals have dried up for the Leafs, when it was like early on, it's okay, they're getting outscored, but they're putting the puck in the back of the net. And he kept telling us that in the post game. It's like, we know it is score. It's about playing direct in the right way on both sides of the ice. And then now the goals have dried up too. At least you're putting Nylander with Matthews to try and get the goals back.
The Leafs playing the 3 games that they have and Willie being a point per game during that stretch is crazy.
Yeah.
Completely insane.
Can I just say something about Matthews for a sec? Just
Go for
I'm going
it.
to jump in. If Berube, when Berube gets let go, because like Saturday night, like no self-respecting franchise can hang on to a coach past game
0
82.
shot he coaches with the Leafs next season.
And
like no shot.
Clip this, by the way. I hope
No serious person runs him back. What are you talking
Yeah, but there might
I
not
hope-
be serious people at MLS.
What's that Twitter account? It's the unfortunate events proceeding, or like the hockey. It's like somebody makes a bold prediction and then the game flips and it's the hockey one.
Oh my God.
I hope that's you. Just for the funniness, but actually I hope it isn't you, because I don't think he can continue. I am very curious to see what Austin Matthews is able to put up under anybody else, because we've talked about injuries. We've talked about defensive play being very, very strong. We've talked about, is he the guy that he was a couple of years ago? And, the back and then this and then that and whatever it is. If they put in a new coach next year, and maybe the team isn't all that good, but they put in a new coach next year and Matthews goes off for 40, 50, 55 goals or something like that, it will be like, oh my God. It will just be like, this is your system compressed one of the best player this franchise ever had.
Ever.
And I think, to your point now, I was thinking like, oh, maybe you just keep Berube to the end of the season. I want to know what that looks like now. Because I think for future planning, whether Treliving is here or not, which I don't think he will be either, and we'll get to that because there's some stuff this morning on that. Minor stuff. Whether or not he's still here, it feels to me like you probably, for, franchise continuity sakes, want to know what Matthews actually can be when you let the leash off him. And when you stop giving him, like, what is it, 60% defensive zone starts and shit like that, like, set the man up for some success here. He's doing, I don't think he's doing anything bad on the defensive side of the puck. I've not seen a lack of effort, but at a certain point, when a team is like, okay, we're done with this guy. And as I said to you guys last week, part of this is on Austin. Part of being the leader is going into the management group and saying, hey guys, we're done here. We're done.
Yeah.
Let's stop this. Do it now. He hasn't done that yet. Probably being respectful. It's a whole NHL thing, but do you know what I'm saying?
So let me add to that, because this is the point I was going to make, and this perfectly dovetails. Every time I bring up the idea of firing Craig Berube, whoever I'm talking to goes, yeah, but does Treliving have the power to fire him? What?
Well, Pelly should. Pelly's got the power.
Brad should have the power. He's his boss.
Brad should have the power. Yeah.
The general manager should have the power to fire the coach on any team.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon? They're in so much trouble. Top down trouble. It's not even about the product that they put on the ice. Their decision making, not even skills, their decision making philosophy is all wrong. All wrong. We might get to the end of the week here. You think the outlook is bleak now. But we have fairies and sugar plums dancing in our heads. Is that how it goes? Fairies and sugar plums?
Something like that.
Justin agrees.
Visions
Justin,
of sugar plums.
yeah.
Sugar plums for sure.
Visions of sugar plums?
Visions of sugar. But fairies works better because you need a couple of things.
I
It
like
can't just
it.
be the sugar plums on their own.
Because fairies can also concoct sugar plums.
Sure.
And, yeah. Let's go with visions of sugar plums dancing in our heads. And by sugar plums, I mean first round picks, second round picks, prospects, who knows? What if we get to the end of the week and they just fumble it all?
Well, let me read you something. This is from CJ's. I love your catastrophizing, by the way. But I do
What
think...
if things just go horrible? Steve Dangle.
We're getting awful close to the trade deadline.
Let me throw this at you.
We're getting there.
So worth noting at the top of CJ's trade board, okay? And then we're going to go to the BetMGM big story.
Every leaf,
McDavid.
There will be trades, of course,
a dragon.
before the bell sounds at 3 p.m. on Friday. But multiple league sources indicated over the weekend that the level of chatter was unusually low for this pocket of the calendar. It's not for the lack of star power or players who can fill premium positions. Plenty of those who fall into those categories are available right now, but the recent changes to the collective bargaining agreement, including the creation of a playoff salary cap, new restrictions on double salary retention in trades, there seems to be an expectation that trade activity won't match what we've seen in years gone by.
The NHL
I don't know why they would do that.
Screwed themselves if they wanted trade noise and all the fun we get out of big movements. They screwed themselves by enacting that LTIR rule where you couldn't do the fun thing that Vegas always does and throw somebody on and then bring them back for the playoffs and utilize LTIR that way. It's ruined the trades because there isn't as much room to move under the salary cap. It's very restrictive. And now we're in the first season of it. And I think people are starting to realize that if you wanted the fun trade stuff, it's good. There's going to be a lot less going forward.
Yep.
Getting nothing for Scott Lawton is a non-option.
Yeah.
We got
to go to BetMGM Big Story. We'll come back to it. Don't worry. There's more. There's more. Let's do the BetMGM Big Story. BetMGM is an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League and has everything for the action on the ice. Hockey fans, got a question for you. You're a Leaf fan, actually, specifically. Now, I told you last week the Toronto Maple Leafs were like, hey, we're going to wait and see. We're going to play Tampa, and then we're going to play the 5 worst teams who are lower than us in our conference. And then we're going to make a decision on if this team is a Stanley Cup contender or if we're selling at the trade deadline. They played Tampa. They got their ass beat. And then they played 2 teams that used to be lower than them in the conference, and they got, their ass beat. Yeah. So, do the Toronto Maple Leafs win a game before the trade deadline? Oh. That's the only question I have. They have tonight in Philly. New York is Thursday, okay? And then New York's bad. New York's the last place team. They also have the Devils on Wednesday. So Philly, New Jersey, New York, do the Leafs win a game? A game.
I mean, the smart money is yes. I think I go with no.
And why do you base it on that? Because you got it. There's a little bit of gut feel if you're betting on this.
Because this team is shell shocked. Like they're shocked that they're in this position right now, and they didn't expect to be there, and they're just coming to grips with, I might get traded. So their heads are anywhere but on the ice.
Okay, Jesse.
I'm gonna say yes. Because this is a bet against the New York Rangers, who have not won a home game in regulation since November 24th against the St. Louis Blues.
A home game?
A home game in regulation.
A home game.
A home game in regulation. The last time they won it was November 24th, 2025.
Against the Blues, who also suck.
Yes. So I'm going to bank on the Leafs going into MSG and playing like the 80s Oilers.
Whoa.
Because that's how every team plays when they enter MSG, because the Rangers suck at home.
Holy Toledo.
In front of your paying fans.
Yeah.
Leafs.
That old hockey guy adage, if you're going to stink on the road.
Yeah.
Like the Rangers flipped that script all season.
No, the Leafs said okay, though. So the Leafs
said, we'll take that to heart.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yeah, so the Rangers suck at home. So maybe the Leafs can pick that one up. Also, New Jersey, like falling way down the standings.
They're not
playing well. They're done for the year.
Is it worth noting, Jesse? Does it give you pause that the Rangers game is the second half of a back-to-back?
Oh.
For the Leafs?
Yeah, New Jersey the night before.
What is it for the Rangers?
Let me
Are
find
they
out.
on
I'm
rest?
just going to find that out.
That'd be trouble.
And the Rangers are playing today, and they're playing Thursday. No, it is not.
No, because there's a lot of stats about the third game in 4 nights.
Yeah.
And the back-to-back one, just teams are like 65.
I'm going with Steve
or anything like that. I think they get one of New Jersey, New York because of those teams being
okay.
And we're leaving out a very big factor that could swing that game in a big way. Guys getting held out of the lineup for roster reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both teams.
Yeah. I think they'd be one of those
susceptible
two
to that.
Okay.
I think they do pick up one victory.
All right. Download the BetMGM app today and enjoy the NHL like never before. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 19 plus to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If any questions or concerns about your gambling or somebody close to you, please contact Connects Ontario. 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. And BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. Now, we've talked a little bit about Berube probably not coming back, Treliving not coming back. We've talked about this rumor on the show for eons, and we're by no means the first show to bring it up either. But Doug McLean was on Kipper and Bourne, and he also said that Doug Armstrong might be a fit for not might be a fit, probably Toronto Maple Leafs.
Completely disinterested.
And I asked around about it, and from the people that I know, or some people that I know that would even answer the question, because a lot of people are like, are you kidding me? Don't bother me on trade deadline week. But the thing is that Armstrong's contract is not up yet. Steen is not supposed to take over till a season from now.
Right.
But he's probably ready now. And the Blues are probably ready for a fresh set of eyes, right? It's pretty clear that, I don't know how many times they're going to try to trade Robert Thomas and Jordan Kyrou, but it's pretty clear that they don't like them.
They're so noisy.
They are very noisy.
Blues are very disproportionately noisy.
And it's also clear that Leafs upper management, if they were going to make a change, at least clear to me from the people that I've talked to, that they want a big name a la what they did when they brought in Lou Lamoriello. And the reason for that, and the reason that it worked before, is because they had a GM waiting in the wings. And Lou said in his opening press conference, if 3 years from now, Dubas isn't the GM, then I haven't done my job. Right?
Right.
And then he didn't like being replaced by Dubas 3 years later, but that's what happened. Yeah. And so Steen is probably ready in St. Louis. The Blues probably are okay with letting Doug out of his contract. Again, I don't know. I haven't spoken to the Blues owner about this, but I'm pretty sure. And the Leafs want a big name. And the question I would have is, if Doug Armstrong is coming in, you have to think that they're going to bring in or anoint somebody who is going to be the successor, because Doug's not a young man. And is Doug Armstrong,
What are we doing?
let me ask you something. Is Doug Armstrong not the GM, but the president? And the way I asked, or the reason I asked that is, Keith Pelly's first year fully as president of the Toronto Maple Leafs has been a disaster.
Disaster.
And if you're an executive and you're smart, and you're a survivor, you know that you don't want to wear that.
Yep.
And Keith's probably got to understand, and I think Leaf fans are onto this already, that he's out of his depths. He is a business person. He is not he's a sports business person even.
Yeah.
But he's not a player person.
Well, he's in charge of the Leafs, the Raptors, friggin' TFC, the Marlies, 905, the Argos.
And
what?
And a couple of esports teams too.
Like, how can one man possibly? And the answer is they can't.
Well, and
he came in and he bulldozed 6 jobs, and he was like, I can do all 6 at once, and he's proven that he can.
And the Raptors are now on the search for a president. So they're going to they're
like,
going to hire one. They said that they would. I don't know. Yeah. I'm going to assume they are. Right. Then you've got the Leafs. And here's the thing. Raptors and Leafs, if those teams are lost, MLSE's in big trouble.
Yes.
They are the moneymaker.
Yes.
And if fans stop going to games, and as I told you last week, Costco's buying their tickets now. Yeah. That is a problem. And so you got to have, this is a premium brand in this city. You got to make sure that you stay there. And it's not easy to do when there's a lot of competition for entertainment. Mm-hmm. Things are outrageously expensive. People's buying power is going down. Keith, your job's to focus on that part.
Yeah.
Your job is not to approve trades that Brad Treliving gives you. Because that's what the role is right now.
Like, you don't know, dude. Keith doesn't know.
And Keith should know that he doesn't know. Mm-hmm. So I think if Doug Armstrong's coming, which I tend to lean into the fact that he is, I've heard it for too long. I think he's coming. I'm just going to go on record. Unless something crazy happens right now, I'm pretty sure Doug Armstrong's going to be running the Leafs next year. If it doesn't happen, fine. Laugh at me. But I think he'd be better suited in a president's role.
I totally agree.
Advising a young general manager that he is going to help build up.
Completely agree.
Yeah, and that person should be Brandon Pridham. Like, they have the guy right there. If they want to bring in... Well, I don't understand this infatuation with Doug Armstrong. I don't have it. But if they're so hell-bent on having him in the Leafs organization, then yeah, he should be president, but Brandon Pridham should be the GM.
Hockey loves a guy who's been there. They love a guy who's been there. It's not a sport, which is... No. The decision makers are not interested in innovation. Hockey might be the leaders of innovation in all of sports. We went from leather skates to like friggin' space boots. We went from wooden sticks to bendy carbon fiber, ridiculous, practically like they're insane.
Yep.
They're rubber and also so hard. It's ridiculous technology. Every hockey card is a photo of something that shouldn't be able to happen with a stick that's shaped like a Q. And yet, can we hire you for a job? Wait a sec. Let me see your license. It says here you're only in your 50s. You're not old enough to apply for this job. It's insane. It's a ridiculous way of thinking, and the Leafs aren't the only team to do it, but what a shame.
I will say the Leafs love hiring a guy who won a Stanley Cup within the last decade. Randy Carlyle was one of those guys. Ron Wilson had he won a cup? He'd been close.
Cup final.
Babs had won a cup within the previous decade.
Yep.
Keefe had not. Dubas had not.
Which is so ridiculous because the stat is very few people ever go on, well, players being the exception, but very few coaches and executives go on to win a Stanley Cup with a second team. It's so rare. So by the odds of averages, you should be like, oh, well, based on decades of history, we shouldn't hire this person, but that's not how they look at it.
So I'll tell you something. I'll tell you a story that I know. And if you want to know why it's like this, and you're going to not like it, but this is the way it's run right now. When a team makes a change at the top, president, GM, even coach, the NHL will reach out to them and they will say, here's a list of candidates that we think are qualified for that job.
Yep.
So head office comes out. You don't ask them. They tell you. Here's the list of candidates.
That's insane.
And there are some teams that choose to interview and only interview those candidates. And then there are some teams that choose to go outside of that, right? And you could tell the teams that go outside of that because they're the ones hiring GMs we've never seen before. You can look around the league. Like, I don't need to tell you which teams they are and which teams have done it in the last 10 years.
You think Carolina's taken the NHL's advice?
I don't think they are.
Right?
I don't think they are. I think they did with Waddell the first time, but I think once they let him go, they're like, we got our guy and we don't need your help. Thanks very much. Mm-hmm. Right? But I look at teams like the Leafs 10 years ago, bringing in Dubas and Hunter. That was very clearly Shanahan going, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. And that's when Shanahan was a very dynamic, change-making force within this organization, not a guy who was so frozen in his previous opinions, he was ignoring the evidence in front of him. He did a ton of great stuff in that first 5 years.
That's the hard thing with his legacy is he definitely changed for the worse.
Yeah. So that when you have an inexperienced CEO, and it's mean of me to call Keith Pelly, an inexperienced CEO, but in this context, I'm right. He did run the European Golf Tour. He did run Rogers Media. He did run TSN. He did all those things. That's all true. But he never ran a sports team. When he was the CEO of the golf tour in Europe, he was running the business. He wasn't running the team. And so...
And Adam, how do you get hired?
So when head office goes to him and says, here's a list of approved candidates that we recommend, he's probably going to take that.
And how did he get hired?
Because he knew he had worked for both Bell and Rogers and they trusted him.
He's a guy they knew.
Yeah.
But they're just going to do it again.
The person that this obviously falls on, to me, guys, most of all, is Keith.
He was the president of the Argos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is again.
A
little bit of a different scenario, let's be honest. That's a little bit different scale.
What is the...
But yes,
you're right,
Jesse.
Isn't the salary cap like $2 million?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter. It's a different scale is the point.
It's not the same.
Yeah. But Jesse's right. Point it out. It's true. Now, so that's the Doug Armstrong stuff. And we've heard that and everybody's heard that. And it's not a secret anymore.
And to Steve's stat, it's Scotty Bowman. Scotty Bowman's the only coach in NHL history to ever win a Stanley Cup with 2 different teams as head coach. And he did it with 3 different.
The only one?
Yeah.
Only one.
Oh, boy.
So by law of averages, by hiring Craig Berube in the first place, you are virtually guaranteeing you are not going to win the cup.
Yeah, no one's ever done it.
Well, now you got to hire Pete DeBoer. He's never won.
Exactly.
Your best
although he would melt under the
win a
media
Stanley Cup is to hire a guy who's never done it.
That's why Lou hired Patrick Waugh, too. He said it's usually their second stint that coaches do their best.
Yeah. You mentioned the Leafs are selling tickets at Costco. By law of likelihood, you are almost as likely to walk into a Costco, hire one of the cashiers as your head coach, and win the Stanley Cup as you are with a coach who had previously won the Stanley Cup.
Unless that coach is the greatest coach in NHL history.
Who is
Bowman.
Since retired.
Yeah. Unless your cashier at Costco is Scotty Bowman, you're better off just hiring anybody else. Yeah.
That's insane. So any coach available, you should have your list. Okay. You got your list of 20 coaches available. Let's say 5 of them have won a Stanley Cup.
Yep.
It should be like, guess who? Okay. Scratch. Okay. We have 15 left. And that sounds counterintuitive and insane, but
I've thought about this before, and can I give you guys my theory on why this is the case?
Give me the theory.
Hit me.
I want this.
So when a coach wins the Stanley Cup, and I think it's a large reason why Craig Berube is unsuccessful right now, they think that that's the way that they can get it done forever. And when they do that with that team, like maybe you have a good run, maybe you're successful for a while, like not unlike Mike Sullivan. 3 Stanley Cups. Wow, so successful. And then they keep doing that for the rest of their coaching career because that's what got them the Stanley Cup. But the game of hockey moves so fast in terms of the systems and the player management, everything you do as a head coach, that they're still running back what they did in 2019 to win a Stanley Cup, and it doesn't work anymore in 26. So when a guy wins the Stanley Cup and then goes to their next team, they do what worked at their last team where they won the Stanley Cup, and that's no longer the game of hockey. And the only reason that they're on this next team is because they got let go from their Stanley Cup winning team because what they were doing there was not working anymore. And because they won the cup, they're never going to change from that thing. They're like, oh, it must have been the players and I was the guy who had to fall for it. But it's actually them.
Why do the rest of us have to learn and grow in our careers and NHL head coaches and GMs don't? You know, the funny thing about that Blues run, Jesse, and it was a crazy run. They were in last place.
Insane
when
run.
they fired the coach at Christmas time.
They
fired the coach at Christmas time.
Roughly.
And just to wrap it up, like a head coach who hadn't won is going to a team and maybe he got fired and this is his second stint and he's trying something new because his first stint was unsuccessful to get the Stanley Cup.
Here's the thing. Here's a couple of things that Berube didn't have in Toronto that he had in St. Louis. Alex Pietrangelo. Arguably top five of his generation. Arguably.
In 2019,
he's the best
top 5 right-handed defender, easily.
Easily.
Had to have been.
Probably one of the greatest playoff defensive performances we've ever seen, both in St. Louis and then in Vegas. Remember, he led Vegas in scoring.
He was incredible.
In the Montreal year when they went to the finals. Like, he was insane. He was insane. You don't have that. You don't have guys like Ryan O'Reilly.
Dude, Colton Parayko behind Alex Pietrangelo.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would argue, too, and we've had this conversation, I think we had it on Agent Provocateur. I thought the Blues run should have lasted longer, but I don't think they valued Pietrangelo enough and let him walk to Vegas. Like, this is that's a team that should have won more.
If I'm not mistaken, so the Blues had to win at such a ridiculous rate just to make the playoffs the year Berube was hired. The next year, if I'm not mistaken, his win percentage was higher. Like, when he joined the Blues, he was unreal. He did a really good job. That window should have been longer.
Should have been.
What happened right after?
Well, COVID, but also they fucked up his negotiations, let's be honest.
Yes.
And they're like, no, we can do this with Marco Scandella.
No, it's just the more time passes, the more I'm like, what happened there? It's COVID.
Yeah. so that and I think Ryan O'Reilly too. Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly at his absolute peak, absolute dog in
won
the
Conn
playoffs.
Smythe.
Exactly. And then you have Binnington. And I don't think the Leafs had a goaltending issue last year in the playoffs, except for the fact that their goaltender got beaned. But we've never had in this era a player take the team on their back for multiple rounds. Ryan O'Reilly did that. Alex Pietrangelo did that.
Right.
We didn't have the horses. And that system worked because you had an outrageously talented team, and it worked. Doesn't work now. So let's talk about where the Leafs and other people are in terms of trades right now, as of this recording. So Brad, according to Darren Dreger this morning on First Up with Carlo Koliakovo, Brad has not gone to Oliver Ekman-Larsson to waive his no trade clause. We know Edmonton is likely interested, but he's not going to go unless he's got a deal that he thinks is workable for the Leafs first. Understand that you don't want to run into a Jake Markstrom situation in Calgary where they're like, "Hey, can you waive?" and then not trade him. Like, you don't do that. That's a disrespectful thing to do.
I understand.
And Oliver Ekman-Larsson told reporters at practice this morning, I want to stay. He said, we want to stay. His family loves it here. See, it's not that bad to play here. He doesn't want to go, but he has a 16-team no-trade list, which means half the league is possible. And potentially maybe go on a Stanley Cup run with the Oilers. That might be attractive. The Leafs have, quote unquote, and this is hilarious, please don't roll your eyes out of your head on this one, kicked tires on Robert Thomas, which is weird because if Doug Armstrong comes here, he's just going to trade him again.
I'm destined to die miserable.
And then lastly,
like what are we doing?
Fried said yesterday
what are we doing?
That Scott Laughton is a good candidate for the Avs, which I agree with. I think he'd be a great fit there.
What on earth could the Leafs offer the Blues for Robert Thomas that makes sense for both teams?
They have nothing.
What on earth?
Nothing.
What on earth?
Nothing.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
What if it's like Morgan Riley?
Oh,
and a seventh.
So
then don't hire Doug Armstrong.
So here's what's nuts.
What is Morgan Riley and a seventh?
No. Let's do this. Let's do it, Brad. You want to do it? Let's do it. What would make sense for the Blues? Has to be futures, right?
I would think so.
You got to assume it's a combination of futures and current roster guys. Okay.
The Leafs can't give those things up, I think, is where the start of the conversation is and where the end of it is. The Leafs don't have that to give up and can't be giving that up at this point.
Even if you gave them Cowan and Danford, which is dumb.
Don't do that.
Stupid. Genuinely stupid. Is that how I said it?
No. I just thought it was, Sabrina Carpenter's song. But I think that the Leafs, even if they were like, we got to have Rob Thomas. Sorry, I keep getting mixed up with the Matchbox 20.
Smooth.
If we gotta have him, I don't think they'd be able to beat the best package out there for him, even if they wanted to. So that's there. We know Bobby McMahon is going to be stapled to Austin Matthews this week because if you're going to trade him, you're going to need to show him at his best and get him the most ice time possible.
Okay.
And the Leafs, apparently Bobby McMahon's group wants a 5-year, $5 million something in there.
No.
And the Leafs aren't comfortable going over $4 million, which I think is fair.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Trade him. Yeah.
You have to be ruthless about this.
But
what are we doing?
Here's my issue. after tonight, if you are trading Bobby McMahon, you can't play him anymore.
I agree. 3 worthless games.
Yeah, like you can't have him going down. No disrespect to the Flyers. You guys know where you're at. We know where we're at. Let's be respectful. We're both off. We're both just awful. You can't have him going down on a weird Rasmus Ristolainen hit.
For all of you watching the next 3 games, whoa. This is our gig. Like, we gotta, like, what?
Why are you?
If you watch it, Leaf fan, Rangers fan, Flyers fan, Devils fan, if any of you watch any of the next 3 games, don't let anyone ever tell you you're not a fan ever again, or you're a bandwagoner or whatever. You are watching the trenches right now. What are any of us doing with the 2.5 hours of your life?
On Bobby McMahon.
What?
Love is Blind is out. Watch that.
Can I just say that on Bobby McMahon, any team should be a little concerned about signing this player long term, and I'll be really upset if the Leafs do it, especially at the number that he wants, because he's a breakout player at 27, 28, 29. He is now is kind of when he started going in the NHL, and his numbers are 15 goals, 20 goals, 19 goals. That's great, but the way people talk about Bobby McMahon online is that he's 23 and a prospect.
Yeah.
This is a grown man who is at the later stages of his career very shortly, and he's peaked right now. And this is probably it. And you have to be realistic about this player. It's fun that he's emerged and he's a late bloomer, but the late bloom isn't going to continue through till he's 40.
And what's his number 1 attribute?
Physicality.
His speed.
Speed.
And you're going to sign him until he's 35?
That
Are you out of your friggin' mind?
That's the first thing that's going to go.
You can't go more. I wouldn't be comfortable with them going any more than $4 million a year, probably less, and not any more than $3 million or 3 years.
No, I don't want the player.
There's no grown-ups.
Go get everything.
There's no grown-ups.
And if he truly wants to be a Leaf because he loves Toronto that much, give me a discount on July 1st. That's how you have to enter these negotiations with him. It's not you're signing him now and you're not getting assets for him. That's crazy. He's going to probably have a really good playoffs for somebody, but you don't need him right now. And you don't need him in 5 years at $5 million.
Can I also throw this at
That's
you?
crazy.
I don't want to tank the man's value because I desperately like a first round pick, but he has never scored a goal in the playoffs.
Yeah, listen, if you are another team executive, do not listen to this.
No.
Oh, okay. Leafs fans, what?
I think he's going to have a good playoffs this year.
I do too.
I think he can. Next year after, 4 years from now, I have no confidence that Bobby McMahon is a top 6 player.
That's why the Oilers kind of make sense, right? Because it's like, that's their window.
Yeah.
This is the dream. Fellas. For everyone, it goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. You contend, you're not contending. It goes up, it goes down. This is the dream. You scout a guy, you find a guy who you didn't even have to draft. You found a diamond in the rough and you developed him. And now you could trade him for what is as high as like a first round pick, maybe a second plus whatever. That's the dream.
This guy was a growler.
He was a Newfoundland growler. You took him from college random man to ECHL player to AHL player to NHL player who gave you lots of good games and now has value on the trade market, and you're going to piss it away? Every hour that passes before the deadline, this is... How long did I say? You have work to do. And the earlier you get your work done, the more work you can get done. If Bobby McMahon, who we all know is getting traded.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't.
No, we don't know.
We don't know that.
We don't know what they're doing.
Last week there was a hint of, I think they've made some progress on an extension. Now that apparently is stalled, but they did say it. It was said.
I have to go back to the Marner stuff.
Sure.
Because we were all like,
I love going back there, man. Bring it back.
well, no, because people at the end of the day, like at the end of the season, it's going to be the number one thing everyone talks about. We all said for like 4 years, hey, so here's how this is going to end. And then it ended that way. And all of a sudden, we're the idiots. We forecasted this years in advance. And the Leafs didn't do anything about it. And now here they are sitting in the repercussions of not doing anything about it. And they're not doing anything about it. Are you guys all daft? A front office of a general manager, 5 assistant GMs. The GM has an assistant. There's a CEO that oversees everything. You have like the greatest video staff. You have this enormous scouting staff. What the fuck? You're not doing anything?
By the way, the Leafs missed they challenged a goal on Saturday night. And it was Berube's challenge because Sam Kim and I forget the other video announcers.
Jordan Bean.
That's not how the rule works.
And Sam Kim and Jordan Bean were like, no, don't challenge that. And Berube did and lost the challenge. Did you guys?
Yeah, cool. Glad our perfect record shot. Thanks for that. Atta boy.
Yeah.
Like, were they getting too many flowers?
Probably.
Like he just couldn't handle it?
I think,
what was that?
I think we got to have... Listen, here's what I want to know. Jesse, let's take that clip and let's say on Friday, Steve freaking out there. On Friday during our live stream, how many trades will the Leafs have to make for Steve to believe, or for you to believe, really, that this front office is a front office of action? Or who are they? Who has to?
So it'd be Lawton, McMahon, somebody else, OEL, maybe. I don't know. At least 3. I think because you set the over under at 2.5 last week.
Yeah.
I think that was a really good number. I think you got 2 solids in McMahon and Lawton. And then I need you to start getting creative, and that brings you to the 3, 4, 5s.
Yep.
So I want to see at least 3 trades out of the front office. That's my answer.
Keeping Scott Lawton is unjustifiable. Mm-hmm. Keeping Bobby McMahon is unjustifiable. Asinine. Completely unjustifiable. Anyone else with term, I'll listen. But like Nick Waugh, oh my God, you could... a competent general manager should be able to fleece someone for that guy.
Kelly Yarncroke is a UFA. There's 3.
What are you getting for...
Hey, listen,
anything?
Just anything.
No, I agree with that.
What do you mean?
They should try, but now here's where we are. Right? You need to dedicate your resources to McMahon and to Lawton and to anyone with term.
OEL.
Yeah, anyone with term, right? So you got to dedicate your resources to that, and now you don't have... Now you're potentially going to be stuck with like Benny and Yarncroke because you didn't do the work. You didn't get anything done ahead of time.
You mean in terms of just the resources? You mean like calling general manager?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, they have 5 AGMs. They should have the resources. How are you getting
spanked by the Canucks, dude? The Canucks went out and they're like, okay, Quinn Hughes. I don't remember the order, if it was Quinn Hughes and then Kiefer Sherwood or...
Yes, you have it right.
But now they haven't... Listen, the team sucks, but they have an easy breezy trade deadline. You got Quinn Hughes done, and it looks like you did pretty well. Mm-hmm. And you got Kiefer Sherwood done, and it looks like you did all right. Now, what are we going to do? Myers? You want to try Myers? Maybe a Garland. Maybe we'll do a Garland.
Well, they got the Myers deal done. They're just waiting for him to waive.
Oh, well,
the Myers deal is done. It's to Detroit. They're he just isn't sure he wants to leave Vancouver.
Can I change my number again?
Isn't that nice?
Please give me your number. What's your official number?
I want 5 trades.
5 trades.
Yes.
What are the names?
5.
Let's cook with gas.
Yarncroke gone. Bobby McMahon gone. Scott Lawton gone. Troy Stetcher gone. And then I want you to do something that actually shakes the roster. And that is any competent franchise would have traded Morgan Rielly. I want you to trade somebody of significance, whether that's OEL, who has term left, somebody with term that brings something back that makes you competitive for next season. That's a retool. That's just a shakeup of the roster. So that'd be my 5th trade. I want 5 trades out of Brad from now until 3 p.m. Friday.
I'm surprised you didn't say Benoit in there, because that should be an easy move. This is a heavy 6th defenseman on a team.
What's Benoit making?
1.15 or something. Like it's nothing. It's a nothing deal. You can bury that. It was at 1.35.
1.35.
Okay.
He is signed through next season, so I don't see that as an immediate move.
Oh, okay.
That's something I could see happening in July if you really want. If the value now is the highest, then yeah, move Benoit. Maybe that's the 5th move. I'm thinking 5 trades because I look at the pieces. You have 4 UFAs. Send them to the moon. 5th one, something of somebody with term.
Okay.
That's what
I want to know about this one, guys. I want to know what you think, because I know he's got term. Because again, Jesse, you're talking about UFAs gone, right? Mm-hmm. It appears as though Brandon Carlo's game has taken a bit of a dive.
There's another one.
Do you move Carlo before it takes more of a dive? And I know you need warm bodies to play for you next year, but hey, free agency's there, trades are there,
Can
drafts
you
there.
recoup what you spent for Carlo?
No. No. Unless you think that he can rebuild his value with your team next year, which I don't think he can. I think that's a sunk cost fallacy if you're holding on to him.
That's sad.
I think you got to go. And I like him.
Yeah.
I like him. I was excited to get him.
29-year-old right-handed defenseman for 3.4.
And he's 6'7". I think you could find a taker. Like, listen, if Myers says fuck off to Detroit, and he wouldn't actually say that. He'd just say no, thank you. Call Steve Yzerman and go, I got one.
I think you could get a first-round pick for Brandon Carlo.
You think so?
Yeah.
You couldn't get the prospect too, though.
And no, but I think you can get a first-round pick.
Okay.
And yet, they have 4 days, 2 hours, 31 minutes, and 18 seconds. Now less!
Show everybody your phone. What Steve was doing.
Time until calculator.
Well, we were talking. Steve was on timeuntilcalculator.com.
Because that's all that friggin' matters.
Calculate.
You're here going, what if Jesse's sitting here having his nice little conversation with Adam, and Jesse's going, Adam, smart thing. And Adam's going, good thought.
Oh, yeah.
Counter smart thing. And Jesse's going, good thought.
Yeah.
Additional smart thing. And Adam goes, also smart thing. And Jesse goes, better thing. And Adam goes, I agree, better thing.
Ooh.
You don't have time! Because you already didn't do the work.
Yeah.
Like I said, 4 months. I rule at this shit. I've been right. I've been right for so long.
Okay, so if there's 5 trades on Friday.
Can I give you 5th guy option?
Give me the 5th guy.
I think we got a lot of fun stuff for 5th guy option.
Okay, give it to me.
4 we got solved. 5th guy option, other one, Matthias Michelli.
Oh!
RFA at the end of the
No, you should preserve that.
If you don't think Michelli is a part of this team next year and he's an RFA, move him to somebody.
And I do think he's played
preserve
okay.
him. He's awesome.
Listen, relative to the other bets they made this summer or the last couple of years, I would say Michelli has been okay since he got scratched for a month.
I don't think his play has been bad at all.
No. Yeah. Can you get the 3rd round back that you traded for him? Sure. I don't see why not. Now, here's the question.
But he's an option for a 5th guy.
Steve, will you look down the barrel of that camera on Friday night in the live stream? And if the Leafs do we've outlined like 7 or 8 trades, potential guys. Mm-hmm. If they get 5 of them done, will you apologize and kiss it?
Oh, yeah.
I will.
You will.
Okay, now, Adam.
Will you apologize and kiss it?
I will. I will apologize and kiss it. Now, Adam, counter question. When they fuck it up, do I get apologized to?
No.
No.
I'll give you a cupcake. You want a cupcake?
I would love one.
What kind of flavor?
Mustard.
Flavor.
Something with very little icing because my stomach's fucked.
Oh, yeah. Do you want chocolate or vanilla?
You know what?
Oh, yeah. Do I seem like I'm in a good mood right now?
Carrot?
Jesse, just,
Carrot. I would like a carrot
some celery.
muffin. A carrot and raisin muffin.
Hey, it's difficult to continue to eat well when you've got work and kids and whatever else you have going on in your life. That's why you should check out Tempo, because Tempo delivers fresh, chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals right to your door. So you're not like ordering in. You know what I mean? That's when you kind of fall off, right?
You get into trouble.
Each meal is perfectly portioned for lunch or dinner and ready in 2 minutes, which is also nice, isn't it? Like, think about that. It's like, should we go out or should we just put the meal in and it's ready in 2 minutes? Done.
Give me the easy one.
20 new recipes every single week made from nutrient-rich ingredients. Tempo keeps things exciting and helps you keep healthy on a consistent basis, which is kind of cool. And no matter what your goals are, Tempo has a meal for you. Protein-packed meals with up to 30 grams of protein. There is calorie consciousness, and there's even GLP-1 balanced meals. And for a limited time, STP is offering STP listeners, Tempo for 60% off. That's what I wanted to say. So you got to go to tempomeals.com/STP to get your 60% off. That's tempomeals.com/STP for 60% off your first box. tempomeals.com/STP. Rules and restrictions apply. The Los Angeles Kings did what they should have done last offseason, and that's fire the head coach that cost them arguably the first round. You know, you could say it's a team game. You could say, oh, but there was other factors. But let's just call it what it is. Jim Hiller kickstarted the Edmonton Oilers turnaround. The LA Kings had won 2 straight games. They were up in the third. Bad challenge. Game turned around. Oilers get life, and it's over.
Generally, those wide sweeping statements are unfair. But if you're a Kings fan, it's very difficult to look at that series and it's before that moment and after.
Philip Deneau, traded in December. Gotta wonder why. It's an odd one. It was like, why does he all of a sudden need to be traded?
Who would we ask?
Well, yeah, Alan's not giving me that information. Alan is smart enough to go, yeah, I'm not going to give you any scoops. No. But it is odd. The timing of it was odd. The return was odd. The lead up to it was odd. Everything was weird about the Deneau trade. We never got a full deep dive into it, but something's really friggin' weird there. Mm-hmm. Then they trade for Pinar and they lose Fiala, unfortunately, in the Olympics. But this is Kopitar's last year and you got to go for it. And they said enough and they fired the man after a win. Now, the story goes that they made the decision early on in the week because, as I told you at the beginning of last week, who'd you rather be, the Leafs or the Kings? And I told you that, hey, the Leafs have been outscored by this. The Kings, basically just as bad. They've been outscored by that. The Kings said, okay, that's enough. And we got to get into the playoffs, and they probably will. The Leafs said, nah, keep it coming. Keep it coming. And so the Los Angeles Kings, as disastrous as this year has gone for them, they still ended up with Panarin. And DJ Smith is now their interim head coach, former assistant coach of the Leafs, former head coach of the Senators. I'm not crazy about DJ Smith as a head coach long-term. I think he's a good assistant. But Jim Hiller going, Jess, you were on this train for a long, long time. It was time.
Yeah. I guess we can go back to that part first before I just show you the timeline of Ken Holland's decision-making for the firing. It was truly that moment that happened last spring when Evander Kane shovels a puck home and Darcy Kemper's flailing to try and save the puck, and Jim Hiller, for some god-awful reason, looks at that and says, you know what, goalie interference, and challenges it. Yep. And then Evan Bouchard scores on the power play and the season's over from there. And it's a lead you have, and you give this team that we all know who the Edmonton Oilers are, and you give them a free power play when you're up 2-0 in the series. And it's not for us to speculate on if this single moment destroyed the franchise, because that's a question that Eric Stevens, who is a fantastic beat reporter for The Athletic, covers the SoCal teams, the Kings in particular for The Athletic, asks DJ Smith. It's like, hey, it seems like that one moment has ruined your franchise. And DJ Smith, in his most honest way, said yes. Here's the clip.
Last spring's playoff loss to Edmonton just seemed had the dynamics of it. As you've seen this the course of the year, has this group been able to fully move beyond that?
I'd say no. I think that particular loss, we lost, somehow carried on to this season. and it ends now. Unfortunately, the way we lost, you could feel it.
Wow.
You could feel it dragging, maybe dragging the group down. Maybe we didn't believe in ourselves, and it's over. That has ended, and today is a brand new, fresh start. And we got to look at it that way. We have a number of guys that were on that team that aren't here. We have a number of guys, because of the injuries that we have, that are getting opportunities. So it's time to build a brand new group right now. And it's not a big window. It's not a long runway to do so. But we got some guys that are capable.
Can I just say how well shot that press conference is?
Yeah. If you've never watched Kings post games, they do their post game press conferences the way they film them. It's like they're shooting a Scorsese film.
Yeah,
they shoot it with the highest definition cameras. They're using probably red cameras out there. They have multiple angles. It's an incredible masterpiece of production that you guys have in Los Angeles. Makes sense. It's Los Angeles.
Yeah,
of
course.
But just from a hockey team perspective, well done, guys. It's a masterpiece to watch. But on the DJ Smith thing and the firing of Jim Hiller would never admit it, but one singular moment of his doing has cost this franchise a year of hockey. And he should have been gone with Rob Blake last year. Like, that was the time to do it at the end of that playoff series. And the fact that Ken Holland sat on this for so long is such an indictment on him to not.
It's so Ken
inaction. And he explained the timeline on his decision making, because Adam, you're saying he made it earlier in the week. He actually made it on Friday.
Oh, I'd heard earlier.
And he spoke about, hey, I spoke with Luc Robitaille and I decided on Friday to make that move, but nobody was around on Friday because it was an off day. So I let Jim Hiller coach the Saturday game where they won 2-0 against Calgary, and then I fired him. So here he is explaining that. It's a thing.
Are we going to get a close-up of our good friend, what's his name? What's the GM's name again?
Ken Holland.
Are we getting close-up and side shots of him too?
Here's more of the Godfather.
Hell yeah, look at this.
There we go.
We had a couple of tough games going into the Olympic break, and I was hoping that the time off and then the mini training camp that our team would really respond. And then with the tough couple of outings coming out, especially the game against Edmonton on Thursday night. Friday, I did a lot of thought. I talked to Luc Robitaille quite a bit, and eventually came to the decision that I needed to make a coaching change. Didn't do it on Friday because Friday was an off day. The players weren't here. We played at 4:00 on Saturday, and I didn't want just a new coach behind make the move going into a game. It was a big game, and hopefully we would respond to the loss Thursday, which they did. So met this morning with Jim Hiller. Then I met with DJ Smith. Met with.
So that's the timeline there. It upsets me. What do you want to say?
I think, again, I heard it was earlier than that. He probably doesn't want to say that.
No.
But the idea that he would just make that decision Friday out of the blue is bullshit.
No, it's the loss to Edmonton. It's the 8-1 loss that cost him his job.
Yeah, but they were talking about this for weeks.
They were talking about it before the Olympic break.
Yeah.
And I think that's the important thing here. It's the inaction from the people who have the ability to make actionable decisions to save your franchise, waiting on things. Ken Holland waited until the very last moment he could to make this decision. If he is competent at his job, he does it pre-Olympic break, and he doesn't say, I'm going to wait and see how we come out of that to see if Jim Hiller can turn around this franchise. He says, I know what this team is because of the many months of hockey we've had playing the season, and I don't need that month off to make this decision here. And he decided, I'm going to wait till after. We're going to see how we're coming out of the break. Not unlike the decisions that are going on in Toronto, and they get absolutely walked by Edmonton, the team that's walked them in 4th straight playoffs. You lose 8-1. You can't have that coach come back. But he should have never been there, because Ken Holland should have taken action last summer when he got the job, and then he should have taken action before the Olympic break. And these guys just sitting on their hands, letting their franchises go to shit by not doing anything.
No.
Now, there's a glimmer of hope. And I saw the stat yesterday, and I didn't believe it. and now I'm looking at it with my own two eyes. How many teams in the Pacific Division have more wins than losses?
It's 1.
It is 1. Adam, would you like to tell the class which one?
In the Pacific Division?
Yeah. This should be easy.
It's not. It can't be Vegas, can it?
It isn't. And they're in first.
I've got a stat on that. Don't you dare. We're getting to Vegas. Don't you worry. It can't be Edmonton, can it?
I can't believe you haven't got it.
It's the Ducks, Adam.
Oh,
there you go.
You mean Cutter Gauthier's Ducks? You mean best trade in franchise history, worst trade in Philadelphia franchise history? Cutter Gauthier, 28 goals.
Here's how stupid.
Seneca probably going to win the Calder.
Here's how stupid this point system is, by the way. There's 2 teams that have either the same amount of wins as losses or more wins than losses, because the Sharks are the other team. They're 29 and 29. They are 5th.
Oh.
So the 2 teams with technically the fewest losses are in 2nd and 5th in the Pacific Division.
Yep.
And you know why? Because the Sharks have 4 overtime losses and the Ducks have 3. That's why.
Also worth noting, the Sharks have a negative 23 goal differential, 62 points.
That's bad.
Preds have a negative 28. Kings, that's 3, 4, and 5 outside of the wild card, by the way. Sorry, or 1, 2, 3 outside of the wild card. The Kings, also 62 points, a negative 22 goal differential. Jesse, are you all done on the Kings? Because I did want to jump to the Preds.
You guys didn't have any thoughts on their situation?
On both ends. So with Jim Hiller, it is valid to go, okay, here's this moment. There's the before, there's the after.
Uh-huh.
The one thing I ranted about years ago with the Sharks getting a 5-minute power play in, I think it was a Game 7 against Vegas, because of it, they called it a hit on Joe Pavelski, but it was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
It should have never been a 5-minute major. It was an accident off a face-off. And Vegas scores a bunch of the Sharks score a bunch of power play goals. They come back and they win and they beat Vegas, and it cost Vegas the series.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's bullshit. The point people made was like, yeah, all right, the penalty's bullshit. You're allowed to not give up 4 goals on the power play or whatever it was, 3 or 4 goals. The one thing I'll say is the Kings were still up 2-1 in that series. Mm-hmm. Like, that moment screwed it up, but like, damn, they were allowed to win the rest of those games or not even blow that game. But, you know, so by making that point, I would just say maybe the team's not that good. The point I would like to make on DJ Smith is maybe he could get them to be that good, because his job in Toronto, and again, assistant coach is different from head coach. And Sens fans are like, oh yeah, I can't wait to see this. But his job in Toronto was good cop.
And maybe that's what they need.
To Babcock.
I've heard Hiller's not exactly a player's coach.
Well, this is good cop.
Right? Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
The firing, like the reason, just to add to the many reasons I'm so upset at them not making the move when they fired Rob Blake last spring and brought in Holland, didn't also move out Hiller, is they also lost a really good coach who could have been coaching their team right now, who has a team in the playoff spot. Marco Sturm.
Yeah.
He was the AHL coach for the Kings, and maybe there's your replacement for Hiller if you make the move earlier. And like Jim Hiller, he had a good press conference. If you go back and watch it, he said all the right things there. And like, I loved his honesty about, that moment messed it up and everything he needs to do with the team. But Marco Sturm's been doing a fantastic job with the Bruins, and you could have had that guy.
You know what
that was your guy.
You know what I like about Hiller doing that, Holland doing that, and DJ Smith doing that, talking about that moment in the playoffs, is that in hockey, in every other sport, you can look at a moment like that and go, that was the moment. In hockey, we don't do that. And we keep denying that moment is the moment whenever that moment pops up. Well, that was the moment. And you hear managers, I don't know. It's a bunch of things. It's so many things. Like remember when Babcock got fired, right? It was the night of, it was Fleury grabbing the Nick Patan shot out of thin air. That's not what got him fired, though. I think what got him fired was his deployment. Remember that they caught Kyle Dubas on camera going, he has to know in an overtime game that they lost
against Columbus. Or do you remember the game before the Vegas game?
No.
Which was a relatively close game.
No, tell me about it though.
They lost, it was 6-0 or 6-1.
Yeah, it was.
That sucks.
But there's moments.
Pittsburgh.
There's moments and I think the moment for Babs which you correctly identified, and Steve or Jesse and I were like, yeah, we get it, but this corporation doesn't act like that, was Game 7. That was the moment.
There they are not acting again.
Game 7 for Babs, in that instance, that was the moment. Berube Game 7, yeah. But at least the LA Kings have the balls to come out and go, yeah, we just never got over it. And DJ Smith saying that ends now. I love that.
Should have done it 11 months ago.
Yeah.
But the next best time to do it is right now. And thank goodness they have. I don't think Ken Holland's the right guy for the job.
No.
He's been there 10 months now. And I don't know. I haven't been happy.
How many more slow puck movers does he need?
Go back. Panarin was a good deal. I think that's a good replacement.
And a good extension.
Yeah, no,
2 years.
They've done a great job filling that kind of star spotlight that Kopitar is going to leave at the end of the season. He's retiring. He's done. Getting Panarin and putting him in LA and filling that spot's great. Yep. Going to sell a lot of jerseys. The team, I don't entrust Ken Holland to go forward with the Kings.
I want to see what...
also, Luc Robitaille, move on.
Yeah. Did they not move on from him? They just moved on from Blake?
Yeah. No, Luc Robitaille's been there the whole time. The last time the Los Angeles Kings won a playoff series was their Stanley Cup victory.
Jeez. See, I am dying to know.
What?
That's
they haven't won a series since 2014.
And we get made fun of?
No.
Yeah.
Leaf fans get made fun of.
Which one?
Well, at least they won a cup.
Yeah, they won the cup. Like,
they
I'll take that. Can I have that?
I'd like that.
What?
Can you rack your brain and tell me which series they won since 2014?
Do we know this? Are you making this up?
Look it up.
Wait, who?
Look it up.
Hold on.
Oh, the Kings have won.
Kings, they don't have one. They got 4 straight losses to Edmonton, a couple playoff misses, and nothing.
Were they first round against the Blackhawks in 2015?
Yeah, I want to say yes. No, didn't they miss after the Stanley Cup?
And then they blew a 3-0 lead to the Sharks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was
yes, I remember that.
There you go.
And they lost in Vegas's first inaugural season in the first round.
I'll read it off for the folks at home.
Oh, you're right.
In 2014, the Los Angeles Kings won the Stanley Cup over the New York Rangers. They won 4-1 that series.
Yes.
Since then, 14-15, you can throw this up, did not qualify. 15-16, lost to the Sharks, 4-1. 16-17, did not qualify. 17-18, swept by the Golden Knights. 18-19, 19-20, 20-21, did not qualify. And then since 2021 till 2025, 4 straight losses to the Edmonton Oilers.
Whoa.
They haven't won a playoff series since they won the Stanley Cup.
That's a long time.
That's a travesty for a historic franchise for this league.
I can't believe that. Holy. Yeah, no, I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think they should do something.
There's something about wearing that new clothes, especially at the gym, like a new workout set. You're like, ooh, I feel unstoppable. I feel cool. Here's the thing with Fabletics VIP, if you need those new pieces, you get them at 80% off.
80%
80%.
That's ridiculous.
Off. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So if you think it's going to be one of those too good to be true things, we were surprised too, but it's the truth. And the fit is absolutely dialed in. You've seen us wear it time and time again on this show. No waistbands creeping down, joggers that keep their shape, jackets that are warm without being bulky. Everything feels soft, breathable, flexible, built for whatever your day whatever your day brings. So that's workouts, travel days, getting back into your routine, staying in your routine, whatever it is for you. Plus, you know that Fabletics isn't just an online brand floating around there. They actually have stores, and there's 2 million VIP members and over 100 of those retail stores, like where you can go in person, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
So Fabletics already has incredible deals, and we just got the exclusive offer. So it's 80% off everything when you sign up as a VIP. Fabletics.com/SDP. Take a quick style quiz and be sure to select SDP when prompted to unlock your 80% off. That's Fabletics.com/SDP. I want to talk Nashville for a quick sec here. Stamkos said it publicly, I guess, last week. He's not waiving his no trade. They are in the playoff race, right? Freach did a hit on TNT, and he was talking about Ryan O'Reilly, and this is such a mystifying situation. So they signed him 2 summers ago. He's in the last year of his deal now, and they are like, listen, we're not going to give you no trade protection. We're just going to allow you to choose if you want to go and where. So we won't write it down, but we're going to promise. And apparently they are keeping that promise, which I think long-term is probably good business, but also you need to be more ruthless than that. So they are saying, O'Reilly's like, I don't want to get moved. We're in the middle of a trade thing. We're in the middle of a race for the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't want to get moved. But they are still going to go to him and say, but these other teams might want you. Are you interested? And so here's my question. Let's say some team goes, we need Ryan O'Reilly so bad. I'll give you the first this year. I'll follow up with the first next year. And I'll give you my 2028 first as well.
3 firsts.
I'll give you 3 firsts. I don't even fucking call them. Are you kidding me? These guys, are you gonna turn them down? Well, you have to call them.
I call them to be like, you're not gonna believe what I was just offered for you. Holy shit!
Like what is this? What is this nonsense? Really? That, and I'm not blaming Freach for it. Again, they're telling him what they're telling him. But I'm like, when I listen to that, I'm like, okay, so you're telling me if a team goes and says, we'll give you 5 first-round picks. I know they can't do that in 5 consecutive years. I know you can't do that, but we'll give you as much. What do you want? What do you want? I'll give you my Mercedes-Benz too. You're telling me that they're just going to be like, no, we're in a playoff race. We simply won't with our UFA center.
I don't understand why the onus is on Nashville to do the right thing and not on Ryan O'Reilly and his agent to protect themselves.
Well, he clearly wanted to go there.
Okay.
And they were not willing to offer that.
Okay, so the repercussions for your decision to want to come here for less money, by the way, is you don't get trade protection, which means we can trade you whenever we want. But we're not going to do it. Like winky, handshakey. That's not how business is conducted.
Not here, not in the NHL. No.
Like winky, handshakey.
Winky, handshakey. Like, you want to play here?
Do you think that's what they said?
Winky, handshakey.
Can I also ask this from the Nashville?
No, I interrupted Steve.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry. Go.
Go. You want to play here? The cost of that is we might trade you. If the Predators, and let me throw this out there. If the Predators were ever actually serious about honoring that, they would have just given it to
That was going to be my point.
So
yes,
they were never serious. They were never serious about honoring that clause that doesn't exist, by the way. There's nothing to honor. That's not how business works. Ryan, they were always going to fuck you. What are you talking about?
And even if they don't, the point still stands. Like, what are we doing here?
That's a ridiculous way. And the
GM who signed it, by the way, is on his way out anyway. He's stepping down. So what are we doing? Trotz will not be here next year. What are we doing?
How do we know? How do we not know that wasn't part of the plan?
What do you mean?
Like Barry gave you his word. I didn't. Said the next guy.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of
how things are done.
Yeah, so even if he doesn't get traded at this deadline, if they go into the summer and it's a new guy, whoever it happens to be, Barry said that goofy shit, Ryan. I didn't. Goodbye.
You only have one deadline after this to get that done because he's UFA at the end of next.
Oh, it's next season.
They will.
Yeah, he has 1 more year left after this year.
Well, then we get you know what'll happen? He won't get traded at this deadline, and we're going to get another year of trade rumors with him because he's been in trade rumors since he got there.
Who's his agent? Like, does he have other winky, handshakey deals around the league? Is that a popular way to conduct business?
It was a 4-year deal. He signed.
Pat Morris.
Pat
really?
Morris.
Yeah, you were.
Isn't that a big agent?
Pat Morris is a huge agent. Wait a second. He signed a 4-year deal? I thought it was 3. That's crazy.
I thought it was 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 4 times 4.5 is an $18 million contract. After the Leafs gave up the sun and the moon for him. Like, he took less to go to Nashville.
Oh, yeah. He didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to Nashville so bad that he was willing to leave himself vulnerable, and this is the cost. What a ridiculous thing to believe. I understand wanting it, but to believe that the Preds would be like, don't worry, buddy.
Well, they've so far they've been doing that.
So far they've been doing that, but like I don't think he even has license to be upset if they trade him. What a ridiculous choice.
The contract, just so for clarity, 4 years, $18 million, 4.5 per season.
Oh.
Signed in 23, runs through 27.
Read the full thing. Read the
Ryan O'Reilly.
Oh, there's no winky handshakey thing represented on the Puckpedia page.
No, there isn't.
Nope.
What a ridiculous decision. Like, listen, maybe he stays there the whole time, but if he gets traded, folks, I don't even know if you're allowed to feel sorry. That's a crazy thing to do.
I don't think anybody feels sorry for hockey players who make $18 million.
Want to bet?
4 years.
You want to bet? Yeah, they do.
Hey, this episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. And listen, it's that time of year. Anxiety. It's, that week of, especially this week. If you're a hockey fan, is my team going to do the thing that they're going to do?
I can find something stressful about any week, but you're right.
Well, if the feeling that you have in your gut right now of anxiety, if that's just been hanging around and kind of sticking with you, and it's not just because your hockey team may or may not make some trades, even though they likely won't, and you're going to be sad, it could be something else. And it might be something you want to check into, and therapy's good with that, gentlemen, right?
Absolutely.
We love our therapy here on this show. And here's the thing. They've got a therapist match commitment at BetterHelp. It does the initial matching for you so you can focus on therapy goals. There's a short questionnaire at the beginning, helps you identify your needs and your preferences. And in 12 plus years of experience and industry-leading match fulfillment rates, it means they typically get it right the first time. But if you aren't right with your match, you're not happy with it, you could switch to a different therapist at any time with their tailored recommendations. And there's over 30,000 therapists available, world's largest online therapy platform. 6 million people use it globally. And we want you to check it out. Sign up and get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/SDP. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/SDP. Can I give you another ridiculous scenario that has just broken as we were talking?
Okay.
So Anthony DeMarco, who's a contributor for Daily Faceoff for the Sabres, is reporting, and this was also apparently alluded to on 32 Thoughts, which I have not heard, is that one of the teams actively pursuing Rasmus Ristolainen
is
the Buffalo Sabres.
Yo, what? That's crazy.
He said nothing is imminent, but Philadelphia is at a lot of trade scenarios they are working through at the moment. Can you imagine Risto back in Buffalo just in time for the playoffs? I mean, it kind of would be sort of perfect in a weird way.
It kind of would be. It's making me want to revisit the Rasmus Ristolainen trade, which was always
the Chuck Fletcher deal.
Psychotic.
Okay, let's do it.
Ristolainen traded from the Buffalo Sabres to the Philadelphia Flyers for Robert Hägg, a first-round pick in 2021, who is Isaac Rosen, and a second-round pick in the 2023 draft, which was Anton Wahlberg. It was Robert Hägg, who is a second-round pick, although 7 years prior, so I guess that doesn't really count. A first, who was 14th overall, and a second-round pick that was 39th overall. It's a lot. I don't know if the Sabres have done a ton with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like they haven't been full-time contributors to the team. But like Rosen's AHL numbers are really strong, and Wahlberg's are pretty good too.
Well, they could always trade him back.
Honestly?
Yeah.
Adam?
Yeah. No,
they might.
Molly Walker, who is a reporter for the New York Post, unless you have something to add on the Sabres thing, Jess. Do you think that it's bizarre that they would need another big defenseman? Is it not?
No, but the Sabres are such an interesting team because I feel like we're all kind of afraid to admit that they're kind of good right now.
They are good.
They are playing above
they're
their advanced numbers. I know that. If you look at some of their zone time on the NHL Edge data, they're ranked 26th in defensive zone time. That means that's bad.
Not good. Yeah.
24th in offensive zone time.
Also not
great. And that's at even strength. And their shot attempt differential is 24th in the league.
Wow.
Minus 2.2. So they are playing above. They are getting results above what they should be. But you can ride that.
Sure.
And the NHL is weird in that like you can do that for a little and have a successful season. And like they're going to get into the playoffs now. It's going to break the longest streak in pro sports. They'll leave the Jets of New York in football to be
the New York Football Jets
to be alone for that title. And I'm really happy for the Sabres. It's just really strange that firing your GM at the same moment you go on this crazy streak seems to turn everything around, and you're not also getting like really good underlying numbers. So I wonder how they're going to fare in the playoffs, but they're a team to watch here down the stretch.
They have some guys who can shoot really well, but they've used 3 goalies for a significant portion of the season. Colton Ellis has been the worst at an 8.96. There aren't many teams that have used 3 goalies this year where the worst one is an 8.96.
That's really good.
7-4-1 record. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen 13-7-2 with a 9.08, and Alex Lyon 15-8-3 with a 9.14.
Wow.
And if you
2026,
yeah, it's crazy.
And when you simplify it like that, and like they got guys who can put the puck in the back of the net, they sit 7th in the league in goals for per game. They are getting scoring, and they're able to mask whatever analytic deficiencies they have in terms of puck possession at 5-on-5. They put the puck in the back of the net. It might be as simple as that. Like Sabres fans, you got a team that can score, and it's doing well.
Worth mentioning, too, Alex Lyon was the starting goaltender for the Panthers when they went on their first playoff run. So I think it means that the Sabres might lose in the finals this year, but then win the next 2.
that is possible.
Probably. Not even possible. Probable.
He has to be replaced by Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, though.
Yes. Yeah. Who's been hurt. So he will.
Oh.
You see? Now, Molly Walker from the New York Post talked to Vinny Trochek this morning and said, Vinny's like, I want to go to a good team. He said, I am 32 years old. I would like to win a cup. I'm not sure. Molly said, regarding reports that he prefers to stay on the East Coast, I'm sure you're relating to the I don't want to be out West talk on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. And yeah, it's not a secret. They are on my no trade clause because my family is important to me and my family's on the East Coast. So here's my question. Mm-hmm. Is Minnesota far enough east? Because it's in the middle.
My assumption is he would make an exception, but I'd take a man at his word. Now, what East Coast teams is he going to?
Well, the thing is that it's been a bunch of West Coast teams that want him. I think Colorado has checked in because they need centers.
The teams on the East Coast suck.
I know.
Right?
I want to go to a good East Coast team. Well, you might want to go back to Carolina then.
Yeah, Montreal.
That'd be a great fit.
Montreal, which I assume no. Right?
Because Canada?
Yeah. So, well, you want to be close. Okay, well, you got to go over the border every friggin' time.
Yeah.
So I assume.
Oh, we got to pull our passports out. It's really hard.
Well,
Chris Bosch complaining about it. I'm just making fun of Chris Bosch.
But it matters.
I don't hate Chris Bosch. Yeah.
The Lightning.
Yeah.
And yeah, Carolina's a good pick.
Yep. Interesting. We'll see what happens with him.
Like, are the Rangers really going to send him to the Islanders?
Well, they have traded already this year.
Yeah. So there's a really interesting, weird one that you could potentially throw in there, right? It's not a huge list. If you take out,
might the Pens be interested with Crosby out? I know they're stockpiling draft picks.
Crosby and Malkin have been so good.
By the way, Malkin's apparently they're talking extension.
Oh,
so
interesting. This is how it always works with the Penguins. That doesn't seem like the swing Dubas would take. I don't feel like that's his MO. Right?
It doesn't feel like it, but I just thought I'd throw it out there because they do.
Boston? He'd be a good Bruin.
Actually, he'd be a great Bruin.
He'd be a real good Bruin.
Yep.
Buffalo?
We'll just say that.
Right?
Yeah, I think Minnesota makes the most sense, but you have to convince him to go to the middle of the continent. Sinbin Vegas. This is a great tweet. Vegas has not defeated a team in the current playoff picture since. Have you seen this?
I have.
I've seen it too.
November 20th.
What?
40 games and 100 days ago, and this is as of yesterday. 11 of the next 14 games are against teams that are in the playoff picture. They named which teams that Vegas has beaten. 11 of the next 14 games are against teams in the playoff picture. Vegas's record against playoff opponents this year is 5-9-10.
That's nuts.
So basically, if you take the loser point out, they're 5-19 against teams in the playoffs.
Wow.
They are 23-8-4 against non-playoff opponents. What a wild... I don't even know what to make of that.
Frauds.
You think they're frauds, eh?
Yeah.
Paper Tiger?
Yeah.
Last 18 wins. Dude, they barely have any wins against teams in the teens.
No, that's enough evidence that, hey, they don't fare well against good teams. I'm willing to take that sample size and run with it.
They lead the division. Like, okay, I've been on Vegas for the loser point for months, for a very long time. I didn't know it was anywhere close to that bad.
They don't have good goaltending. They play really well when they're down and they're chasing their game and their offense is kind of released to do their thing.
They're crazy.
And their defense is kind of mediocre and hasn't been great. And I think that leads to bad goaltending. And they've been shaky all season long. It's a miracle they're leading the division.
Yeah, like so many things had to happen statistically in order for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what was the difference between them and the Ducks in terms of
the standings here?
In terms of loser points.
You can throw it up there.
So
the Golden Knights have 21 regulation wins. ROWs, they have 27. There you go.
But that's an 11-point gap in loser points between Vegas and Anaheim, and it's a 1 point gap in the standings.
Yeah, 14 overtime losses.
This is why we don't
3 for the Ducks.
And the Golden Knights are 1-6 in the shootout. The Ducks are a perfect 7-0. So if you wanted to be,
oh my god,
if you wanted to be a Golden Knights fan and be like, yeah, but that's what I would point to. But holy cow,
the criticism for me with the 3-2-1 thing, remember the 3-2-1 where if you go to overtime, it's not a 3-point win, it's a 2-point win.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It still rewards the loser point.
Mm-hmm.
And also, why are you getting one less point for a win? It's wins and losses. Wins, losses. Wins, losses.
Yeah, but
wins and loss. Did you win?
Yeah.
But did you win?
Adam, I've talked about this for a long time. It's and the NHL is not alone in this. It's across sports. It's not a sporting product.
It's an entertainment.
It's an entertainment product.
I know.
They're not interested in being like, yeah, the winners are up here at the top and the losers are down here at the bottom. They want to keep it as interesting as possible for as long as possible, completely artificially. They don't care. So that the games are interesting for longer, so that you go, so that you watch, so that you listen.
The Knights are 28-32. That's what they should be in Adam Wild's system. And the Ducks are 33-26. If we're just talking wins and losses, that's a significant difference. Those are two different teams going in different directions.
The Sharks,
and it's ridiculous that they've been able to stockpile 14 overtime losses.
Listen, when this season's over,
the Sharks are second in the Pacific in wins. They are fifth. They're fifth.
Yeah.
Jesus. Ignore everything I said about the Atlantic Division going into this season because I was wrong about all of it. But I've never been more fucking right than I am about the Ducks. This team,
oh my god,
they're slaps, man. This team rocks. I was wrong about more than I was right about, but I was right about that, damn it. And that's where I'm planting my flag.
Yeah, but that was the one where I was like, you're insane. And
oh yeah.
I was so wrong.
Didn't see it coming.
So wrong.
This is, I can't believe, by the way, too, because the NHL, this is one of those weird years where the power has completely shifted.
Yeah.
You look at the Atlantic Division, except for Tampa. Fucking Tampa.
Always.
It's completely shifted. What do you mean? Montreal, who barely squeaked in last year, and Detroit are 2-3. And what do you mean the Pacific Division, which has given us how many Stanley Cup Finals and champions in the last 5 years? Everybody's got basically outside of the Bettman 500 a losing record except for the Ducks. What the fuck do you mean?
I know.
What do you mean?
Wow.
Vegas and Edmonton have, technically speaking, losing records?
It's hilarious that both Vegas and Edmonton are still there, but are literally losing more than they win.
I know.
Literally.
Like they're fighting for the division lead, and Edmonton's still not sure who they could start.
Does anyone feel good about it?
No, I can't imagine they do.
Any team in a good mood?
I don't think so. It's a very weird year.
I mean, at the end of the day, first is first. Like if you're Vegas, you got to feel good. If you're the Ducks, you got to feel like, wow, can't believe we're here.
And if you're first in that division, you probably feel good, Steve. Sorry to interrupt you. because you're playing somebody in your division. Well, not necessarily. I guess you play a wild card.
Wild card?
No. Maybe if you're second or third, you feel good.
So what are we keep talking about the division? What are the actual standings in the West?
What's the WC?
It's the Golden Knights, Ducks, Oilers.
So the Golden Knights would play what, the Mammoth? If it was to start,
they would play the Mammoth, yeah.
And the Colorado Avalanche would play the Kraken.
Yeah.
Okay, I think Vegas can probably feel okay about playing the Mammoth. I think Colorado can feel perfectly fine about playing the Kraken.
I think that's a stunningly
Ducks Oilers would be
competitive series. The Mammoth are a plus 23 goal differential. Vegas is plus 8.
Yeah,
I think it's interesting.
You're right.
I think it's very and
look at the OTLs.
Utah's got 31 wins.
And 24 of them are regulation. Okay. All right. Anyway. That's fascinating.
Crazy.
I'm curious to see how that goes. I don't think it stays that way too. I think the Kings get in. Don't you guys?
No.
You don't think they go on a run after this?
No.
Ooh. I'm kind of on the side of Coach Bump.
I think they missed the playoffs.
Wow. All right. Wow. Last thing to talk about, unless I missed anything, 18-year-old Matthew Schaefer, 20 goals. He's officially hit 20 goals.
Ridiculous.
Just
completely insane.
Insane. And he is just listen.
Hudson or Schaefer? Go.
Lane Hudson every day of the week.
Oh, wow. All right. That was a fun debate, by the way. Okay. Anything else that we missed? Because I'm going to wrap it.
The Matthew Schaefer stat, by the way, is he is the first rookie defenseman ever to be the first rookie to hit 20 goals in a season. No defenseman has ever been the first rookie to hit 20 goals in a season.
What?
Yeah.
Are we talking about?
Wow.
It's pretty cool. He's doing literally historic things that have never been done ever.
And this guy played less than a quarter season in the OHL last year.
Yeah.
I still can't get over. You're essentially going from playing junior hockey as a 16, 17-year-old, skipping a full season of hockey and going straight to the NHL and being the most dominant rookie defenseman ever. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
He was named the first star of the week as well. And I'll read a little blurb from what the NHL sent out. Trailing 2-0 in the second period, Schaefer scored twice in 55 seconds, his 17 and 18 tallies of the season, to surpass Phil Housley for the most goals in league history by an 18-year-old defenseman, en route to the New York earning a 4-3 overtime victory against the Canadiens. Schaefer did not find the score sheet, but logged a team high 25-31 in their next game. And then he ended the week 2 goals, 1 assist in his first career 3-point performance in a 5-4 triumphant win over the Florida Panthers. They wrote this they put a lot of flowers in this. I didn't realize that was his first 3-point game for the amount of stuff he's done.
He's just been really consistent.
To just now rack up a 3-point game is incredible.
Wow.
Only 3 other rookie blue liners have compiled as many goals in an entire campaign as a Schaefer. That's Brian Leetch, that's Barry Beck, and that's Dion Phaneuf. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
Cool stuff.
Sorry, Beckett Seneca, you're not going to win the Calder Trophy.
No,
but that's okay. He'll be second, right?
Yep.
Yeah, second.
Yeah.
Beckett no? All right, let's wrap it up there. We'll leave it for now, but we will be back on Wednesday. And don't you forget, trade deadline. Even though it's quiet, perhaps too quiet, there will be some stuff. And we'll have videos and that sort of thing throughout the week. And then, of course, on Friday. Unless nothing happens and everybody just keeps it the same.
Maybe it's quiet, but maybe some team will get it.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.